Donald Trump, whose campaign has been branded with this message.
I am your retribution.
Now fresh off 34 criminal convictions, in an interview with Fox over the weekend, he seemed to leave the door open to the possibility of seeking political revenge on his enemies. Like this, watch.
It's a very interesting question. My revenge will be success, and I mean that. But it's awfully hard when you see what they've done. These people are so evil.
All right, joining me now is a very special guest, the senior political correspondent for the New York Times, Maggie Haberman. She's also a CNN political analyst. Maggie, I am so grateful you're up early today to be with us. Thank you so much. You have covered this guy for decades at this point, and probably no more than anyone in the country beside the man himself, about the way he thinks, the way he operates, and how that actually plays out. Can we dig into this question of retribution, especially in the wake of this conviction, considering some of the things we've heard from Republican allies who say they should, weaponize justice systems in other states to go after people?
Yeah, look, Casey, the question of retribution is not being posed very subtly by certainly Donald Trump's allies right now. If you look on Twitter or X, formerly known as Twitter, if you look at other social media, you can see, Trump supporters talking about, opening investigations and finding other ways to get back at Democrats. Trump himself has been trying to walk back his retribution language because his advisors are aware it's not helping him. It doesn't play well with swing voters. But does that mean that Donald Trump will decide he is going to put aside his desire for retribution, which is a lifelong thing that he has had? No, I don't. It's hard to imagine. Look, is it possible? Sure. But there's nothing consistent with Donald Trump in his life that suggests he's going to say, this is fine now, and I'm not going to look at ways to use the levers of government against the people who he thinks went after him. And I should note, Casey, he keeps insisting, and his people keep insisting, that President Biden is behind the Manhattan District Attorney's case against Trump, and there is absolutely no evidence for that.
Yeah, no, it's very, very important to underscore that. Maggie, we also heard him talk about, he claimed he was okay with going to jail. I'm interested to hear you weigh in on that. But then he also said the public wouldn't be, that there would be a breaking point. What did you hear in the framing that he had there? Obviously, it's already become a political back and forth about whether he meant violence. I'm curious how you heard it.
So two things. Number one, no, he does not want to go to jail, and he's not okay with going to jail. There is nothing about his makeup that is. I understand that he feels like he has to say that because he believes in not showing any weakness. But no, he doesn't want to go to jail, and I don't know anybody who actually wants to go to jail. Number one. Number two, in terms of his language about people would be upset, it would be a breaking point. Number one, I think it's true that there would be some kind of a reaction just based on what we have seen, although he has said things like that repeatedly, most notably in the lead up to the January 6th attack on the Capitol in 2021 by a pro-Trump mob. And we've seen less of that since. Remember, when he was indicted in this case in 2023, he openly called on people to protest against this indictment. And the results were pretty mild because the mass number of arrests that have taken place of people who were somehow involved in what took place on January 6th has been a deterrent. We'll see if that changes here, if he is to be sentenced to jail. I want to note one other thing, Casey, just since you were talking on this show about the possibility that Trump gets sentenced right. I mean, the sentencing is currently scheduled for right before the Republican National Convention. Yeah. The July date for sentencing is a date that Trump's own lawyer sought. It is not as if the judge was like, oh, yes, let's do this there. Todd Blanche asked for, he didn't mention the Republican National Committee, but he did ask for a mid to late July sentencing date. So that was his choice.
Very interesting. Glad you raised that. Maggie, I want to make sure we dig into this story. Anyone that's got a copy of the Times this morning can read it on the front page. You talk about New York City, which has been almost this partner character in Donald Trump's life as a place. You say New York City was once Donald J. Trump's playground, the place where he made his name and then plastered it everywhere he could. And now the city that helped make him rich and famous has become his battleground, and Mr. Trump keeps losing. What else, dig in a little bit to this reporting and kind of what this means in the context of the man.
Sure. So one thing that was striking as we were working on this story is how, frankly, I think exhausted by constant drama around Trump. A lot of people are. This has been a running feud with Donald Trump and New York City for many years now. When he ran in 2016, when he went to vote on the morning of Election Day, he was literally laughed at by people who were at his polling place. One man called out, "You're going to lose." He rejected the city back, essentially. I mean, there was constantly this issue of what was going to be funded for New York City. He ended up cutting some of the tax implications by which New York did well in his tax bill. There was just a running back and forth, and then he changed his voting registration after talking to his tax lawyers. Since then, he has been investigated multiple times, and he is clearly very angry at the city. You saw him hold this rally in the Bronx, and it was a solid event. He got a lot of people. But he has been trying to troll the city back as much as he believes he's been trolled.
That's I guess, epic trolling, shall we say. Maggie Haberman of the New York Times. Maggie, so grateful for your time this morning. Thank you so much for being here.